we've made it to Nisei and the epic arc of just lewdness,
Oh, the
degeneracy,
lewdness. The
degeneracy,
degeneracy.
and the
Double
toothbrush.
degeneracy.
Oh, the
Oh,
toothbrush.
fetish unlocked. Pop up the Xbox trophy achievement. Fetish unlocked.
What's going on, everyone? This is Squids, and with me, as always, is Mr. Itchy Etchy, the Itchy
Itchy
guy.
etchy man. Itchy etchy guy. Itchy etchy dude.
And we are on.
Itchy etchy.
Yeah, and like we said last, it's just an enigma at this point. It's gonna change forms and evolve eventually until he's a golden bird. Hi, um, but
And by golden bird you mean hentai Hank.
yeah, and we finally made it to the third arc of this series, and let's be honest here. This one is like I said at the beginning there, definitely one of the more uh, don't let your family watch with you, and no matter what scene your parents walk in on you on, it's gonna be some explanation. Uh,
Don't struggle. It makes it harder to pull down your panties.
so before we really delve into this, my man, what are your initial thoughts on Nisei?
So coming from Kizu and the dramatic change in animation, it was a breath of fresh air to see the minimalism again, because that's what I really loved about Bake's animation style, is the minimalism. Plus, me being the etchy guy, I was firmly invested in a lot of this debauchery, let's call it that. That's a good word for it. Debauchery, degeneracy, whatever you want to call it. Otherwise, though, I thought we're gonna break down the arcs a little bit, but I thought it was weird coming from what seemed like these micro arcs that we got with Bake and Kizu to these larger scaled arcs, because if I remember correctly, there's only 2 arcs really in this
Correct.
whole part right here. So that was a little weird, because with Bake initially, it felt like we got our arcs fast. They were only like, I think the longest is like 4 episodes long, and even that was broken down with a weird little side thing in the middle. But it was strange. It felt like more of a cohesive story, so to speak, having the longer arcs.
Right, definitely, I can agree with you on that. Like I kind of mentioned too. Unlike with Kizu and everything, the big thing with them, I feel, is that was definitely like a theatrical release. So I know they had a little
Oh,
bit more play money to oomph the ante on it, and like you mentioned too, I definitely understand what you're saying with the whole back to bare bone basics, not so I guess
well,
flashy
so the Kizu,
animation.
it's not even so much the flashy animation. Like when I picked apart Kizu on the last episode, I noted that the backdrops were almost hyper realistic
Yep.
in the way they were drawn.
Well, some of them
The
were actually
backgrounds.
just like legitimately real photos of Japan. Like, I don't know if you
Oh
noticed
yeah,
that. Yeah.
but so we go from hyper realism back to the minimalism, and I think the minimalism is what's animation wise what's making me fall in love with this series, is the abstract minimalism mixed in with the somewhat realistic animation and all of the goofy shit that they throw in there.
Oh yeah. And if anything, Nisei is extremely fucking goofy.
Oh, it's so goofy.
So we start off this season or series, I guess, with the Karen B, or Karen, if you want to be white, arc, and we have I guess technically the first intro, because it deals with Sanjo Gohara's bullshit. Has her song for 2 episodes. I want to say it's episode 1 and 3, which is the Futo Kotome. And I actually mentioned this to you earlier, but pretty much every intro in the series, obviously not the outros, but is sang by the actual character that the arc has to deal with, which I think is really freaking cool.
Yeah, that
Um,
is cool, and you did mention that earlier. But I did like. So talking back about fucking Senju Kahara's intro, since it is the first intro we see, I did like the changes that they made to the animation that followed the intro. It still really felt close enough to Bake, but just different enough to be interesting.
yeah, you got the staples, man, the freaking staples,
Staples.
and like that's just something that I feel like is gonna stick with that poor girl for the rest of the series or something.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I haven't watched the rest of the series yet, so who's to
Yeah,
say? You're to say.
let's do that all over again. I like it. And then the only other we'll get to the other ones later, but the next intro song that goes before we get to the second arc is Marshmallow Justice, which is like a really big song in the community, and I really enjoy Marshmallow Justice. I think it's a banger of a song. Um,
I thought it was a
and
banger too, and the intro animation, dude, fucking. I'm not gonna say that this is my favorite intro animation of Nisei because the last one is, but oh my god, the fucking beehive theme on it and all that other stuff, hexagons. I don't know what it is about hexagons, but they are visually appealing when stacked together.
yeah, I think that's some like I can't even think of the word. It's been so long since I've taken any type of art classes in my life, but it's definitely some type of geometry bullshit.
Yeah,
And then the
gotta
outro is
love geometry.
oh, didn't we all? Didn't we all with Pythagoras theorem? Um, and then the ending was Naisho no Hanaha Han can't even freaking talk. Hanashi by Claris, which is the whole season, and that song's freaking dude. That drum line in the freaking beginning of it, da 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 da. That's so good. Love the
It's
living.
so good. It really is.
I was so accurate on that drum line. We'll probably get copyright strike. Um,
Well, we better. If we don't get copyright struck, there's something wrong.
so we begin this episode in the classic Monogatari fashion of having a foreshadowing of something that's going to happen in like 2 or 3 episodes with Araragi chained up in the cram school on July 29th.
Yep.
With no context or details. This
Yeah, I was pretty fucking confused. Dude was just sitting there being like, so I have been kidnapped.
and apparently, we're a few days into the vacay, and the girlfriend comes. Of course, who else
The
would have?
lovely Senjo Gahara.
And we who else would have trapped this poor man into the cram school?
You know, she doesn't outright say it yet, but yeah.
I mean, let's be real here. It's so implied that like, who the heck else would have done this? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly.
and she's
And it's all under the pretense of protecting him. Like, I'm protecting you, Araragi.
it's her sundry characteristics. And she's
I do love
joking.
how she just draws attention to it all the time, too.
Oh, I know, right? Right, and she's just joking about poisoning him, and like he's just like, well, I'm thirsty, I want something to drink, and she's just like, if you want something, well, I guess technically before that she does make a Neon Genesis joke, which
Yeah, he straight breaks fourth wall and calls it out. Like, I don't know if Neon Genesis exists within the Monogatari fucking space.
oh, it
Like,
does.
if it's a show that they've seen and watched within this space, but like,
Oh,
it's
it's
a good
canon.
fourth wall break.
It's canon now. But she's like sexually feeding water to him, off her finger, and she goes, "Lick it like a little giraffe."
We were talking about the poison too, and I have to
Yeah,
point out
yeah,
that we
yeah.
are in the bee arc, and she points out bee venom, which I thought was a good call to the arc that we're in.
That is true. That is true. And she I'm pretty sure this is quote unquote. I wrote this down, but I love you so much. I'd embrace you covered in shit, pretty much.
What happens if I gotta go to the bathroom? Well, I will change your diapers for you. Oh my god, I
See,
love you that much, Araragi.
I just embrace you covered in
And
poop.
she's straight fucking crazy looking while she's doing this. She's doing like the crazy head tilt, no fucking expression.
Yeah, dude. Whenever she does that, I think of fucking God, what is it? Oh man, it's like I can't think of it, but there's something specifically in my mind right now that I'm thinking of when she does it. If I think of it, I'll randomly blurt it out in this video. But
And I'm gonna be like, what's that?
but that's pretty much all you get in the beginning. And
And yeah,
I I remember even you telling me like when you were watching it right away, you're like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. And I was just like,
you really don't like, because then it fucking quick cuts. But I wanted to say one thing and one thing only right now
yeah,
about this. Araragi's pretty thirsty, and you want to know what quenches my thirst when I'm thirsty and gives me the energy I need for all
what's
my
that?
anime related antics?
I need to know.
It's energy drink. Not
Oh,
sponsored, but rip it's energy.
you know,
Gives you the energy you need
we
for
would
Monogatari.
we would gladly take a sponsor though. I will proudly drink Rip It energy drink every. I mean, I already do drink it every day, but
Yeah, that orange cream flavor. I think it's Tribute Cyber X. It's on point.
I'm a
I'm gonna plug that flavor every time.
I'm a screeching peach guy. You know, there's so many flavors. How could you say no? Not
And
sponsored.
that cool digital camo can you get with the Tribute brands,
That's
the
true.
Tribute flavors.
And I think
You know
that
what? No
one's
one's gonna see what you're drinking.
no.
They're gonna think you're just pantomiming drinking, and you're gonna look crazy, but you're gonna be really in the know and have your thirst thoroughly quenched with the delicious flavor of Rippets.
Yeah, and you have to. So we get back to it, and obviously we've had. I slightly messed it up in Bake, but we've had oh my gosh, I can't even think right now. So long story short, on the weekends, Hanakawa has been studying with Araragi on Saturdays, and his girlfriend's been studying with him on Sundays. But this weekend, Araragi gets a text pretty much saying that Hanakawa's busy right now, so she can't study today. So, what's a man to do? You know?
Hang out with his sisters for a little bit.
Yeah, go hang out with your sisters for a little bit. And these little cheeky bastards are clearly up to something at this point. And so what's Aragi gonna do? He's gonna call his little buddy Sengoku.
What Goku is more like it? And oh my god, dude, she is so fucking excited just to see him. Like the phone call cracks me the fuck up, dude. Like you can say, "Oh, Araragi! Oh, yeah, come over."
No. Today's perfect. No other day would work either. Right now,
Get over here right now.
yes. Come over here right now.
Get over here.
And like even like freaking Suki's like she's like he's like, you want to come over and with us to hang out? And she's like, nah, I don't think that Sam would like that. And he's just like, what do you mean? And she's like, well, you're a dumb motherfucker. But
Araragi is the most oblivious man on the planet.
yeah,
And like You can even see it back when we watched Kizu. Like, there's no way that dude did not pick up on the fact that Hanakawa was into him, and even us viewers picked up the fact that Sengoku was into him in Bake. Like, I don't know if I said it in the video or if I just said it to you, Mr. Squids, but like, yeah, she wanted to get dick down in a good old hard fashion.
Oh, 100%. I mean, every woman for some reason has the hots for this stupid 18-year-old boy.
It's his vampire charisma that he really doesn't have.
Yeah, he's got that fucking lucky boost from his charisma stats that he doesn't even realize that he has because his wisdom's down to an 8.
Yeah, that's fair though, because every time I play an RPG, I just dump it all into charisma. I want to bang everyone.
Yeah, of course. So, like, for some reason, Tsukiki is asking, Aragi why he hasn't fought with Karin lately, because him and Karin usually, have their scuffles. And obviously, he says he just makes up some shit saying, she's too good at her karate now. And even in his head monologue and realistically, even as a fan, you're thinking to yourself, if he went and actually fought her with this, even though he's like pretty much just a sub vampire now, it still probably wouldn't end that well.
Yeah, we all know Shinobu's the Dom vampire.
She's the Dami mommy.
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
And so
more like Dami younger sister at this point, but yeah.
Yeah, it's fair. With the knowledge of a mommy. Anyways, we're not going to go down that train right now. We're not there yet. So, we're on our way to go to Sengoku's place because, whatever. And we get ourselves a nice Hachikuji detour.
Oh my god, the Hachikuji. And best detours.
And we get freaking cheek kisses and arm bites and freaking this, like, one of the things that stuck out to me most in this interaction was like when she like climbs up the pole and does this like menacing like glare with the red eyes and everything.
And she grew the fucking like claws and shit. Like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, what the fuck are you, Hachikuji? Because as far as I know, you're just the spirit of some girl wandering the earth, and now you're turning all demonic on us.
Yeah. And it's
no, and one of the parts that stood out most to me, and because it's kind of fucked up, but we mentioned it already in the intro. The hold still. It's hard to take off your panties.
Yeah.
And we'll get more into that, why that stands out to me later.
I love how she even mentions that it's hard to fill in the gap with Mei in the harem now that he's gone, too.
That's so funny. Aragi's like, just like, why would that old man be in my harem?
Because he's the GOAT.
Oh my god.
And for some reason he's talking to this, apparition 10-year-old girl about love. And she says the quote that's been in my bio on the Facebooks for like 3 years now. Yeah. She's like, yeah, I know love. They sell it at the convenience store for 298 yen.
Oh my god, so funny.
Like, this man's literally trying to talk about like Sengoku and love and all this shit with a fucking 10-year-old girl. It's just like
a 10-year-old girl that, like, I think she like even died at like 9, so she's like 10 now somehow. But like,
and like he like tells her he's a vampire. Like she didn't obviously like kind of have a fucking hunch about that at this point. But she did teach us a valuable lesson that you can make anything positive by adding courage.
God, this bit cracked me the fuck up. Especially because, like, she goes through all of her examples. Aragi's sitting there, like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then fucking goes and does it to her. And she's like, oh no, I've created a monster.
If I can, I love that. If I could do a handstand,
Oh, God.
but like, so he
Do a
does the
handstand so I can see your panties.
yeah, yeah, and so like he does the handstand, and and like he like intentionally flicks up her fucking panties.
Well, no, she did. He didn't intentionally flick up her panties in this scene. So, like, he's sitting there doing the handstand, and he's like, "Well, this is a better angle to look up at your panties." And fucking, she's like, pretty much does the fucking Hanakawa thing at this point, and fucking
Yeah,
lifts her own skirt to show him her fucking panties.
he's feeding the beast.
I feel like so. So. Who's to say? You're to say, but I feel like at some point every girl is gonna lift their skirt for Araragi. I feel like this is gonna be a bit.
And who's to say?
You're to say.
And before he goes on his merry way, he wants to make sure that she's like not leaving him. Kind of like obviously he's got some coping issues now that his harem member has left him, and
Yeah.
and she promises to say goodbye if she does leave, and obviously that's something that he's just kind of Mr. Butthurt about a little bit, but he trusts a little. He trusts her, and it is what it is, and that's pretty much the end of episode 1 right there off the bat. Not too much contextually. You'll notice that as a trend in Nisei. A lot of it does add up, but at the same time, it's just like, whew, that's a lot of slice of life.
Yeah. Yeah. It really is. Yeah, I liked the first episode though. Fucking, it did throw me for a loop a few times, but one thing I will say is I like that we actually get more interaction with his sisters because all we got in Bake was like them trying to get him out of bed after he fucking fought an apparition.
Yeah, every time.
Exactly, every single time. I thought that was a pretty good bit. I don't know if we touched on it a lot when we did our video, but it always left me questioning more about his sisters too, because all you really see are these negative interactions, and then you get the Mother's Day episode in Bake, which shows that they don't have a good relationship. And I feel like even in this first episode, it kind of pulls that back and is like, hey, they do kind of have a good relationship with each other.
Yeah, just wrong place, wrong time type of situation. And
Yeah.
so we get to the next episode, and it's caught in time. You find out that she's 15 years old. She's a combat freak, and she's kind of boyish. And you learn that Tsukihi's a 14-year-old femi, but she's very aggressive. And these two little sister freaks make the Fire Sisters.
And it's noted quite a few times throughout the series that the younger sister, I can never remember her name because they speak so fucking fast. What's her name again?
Sue.
Sue.
He.
Tsukihi. She's noted to be more terrifying than her older combat Karin sister. So,
she's
several times throughout the series.
She's a little spitball. At least
I think the term is Spitfire. Fire sisters.
Fire. So we finally get to Sengoku's house. I mean, we got that little intro, nothing too crazy or anything, but we get to Sengoku, and she's all dolled up. Like, she's not looking like this baggy little girl with her big old fucking cap on. She's looking like a little tramp.
And honestly, I think I liked her looking like wow, she did in Bake a little bit better, but alas, I think it was cute versus trying to be sexy.
Yeah. She even put her bangs. She has bangs right now, looking all fly, And like,
and you know it's really hot in her room.
oh yeah,
So
and
she has to, of course, take her sweatshirt off, and then get
I,
Araragi to get his sweatshirt off.
I will say I did find it absolutely hilarious that the moment they walked in the door, the bitch locked the door instantly. Instantly
Oh,
locked that fucking front door.
I did notice that too. Like, and like locked, and they like, didn't she even lock her like bedroom door too
She does, and
when
then
they
like
got up from the bedroom?
yeah, and then like Aragi's looking at her closet, and literally on her closet, she tells him not to go in there, and she literally has like a safe digital code on her closet, which I will say comes up later. I will not spoil it, but that is something that will come up later. Um,
Who's to say?
but who's to say? And then Aragi's like, I'm not. Yeah, like you said, she takes off her sweatshirt and everything, and he's like, I'm not really that cold. And then she goes like, even if you aren't cold, you must take off your sweatshirt, Aragi.
And then starts laying on the floor all posed like a fucking pinup model in front of them. They're going back and forth. So what do you want to do? Why don't we play a game? The game of life. No, they go through a bunch of like card games, I'm pretty sure, first.
They do well. First
Right?
thing,
Like,
yeah, they play a little bit of card games, and then like,
and then don't we get a
ironically,
call back to presidents and assholes in this fucking one? They don't call it that, but I'm pretty sure that's the game that they're referring to.
yeah, yep. But also in the middle of that though, we get that. She's like, "Do you want to play life?" Yeah, I love playing the game of life. And like, kind of like in between that like little phase, before it gets any like more into the sexualness there, we do get a side flash of how the sisters are kind of well, Son Goku tells them, but how the sisters are investigating the charm that she got obviously jinxed with, and like a bunch of kids at the school. And
I thought that was interesting too. That fucking I like how everything's coming back together because we get the charm.
yep,
Obviously, they're classmates, but then we start to learn here that this is going around the school now. You know, there's multiple students suffering from these charms, and Sengoku, I guess, got literally the worst of it compared to
yeah,
the other people.
right,
It notes that a lot of people's relationships are being messed with.
yeah, bunch of little
But like
15-year-old
fucking
motherfuckers.
Sengoku had to deal with the fucking twin snakes.
Yeah, she was not having a good time with that.
Neither was Araragi at that point.
No, he sure wasn't. So yeah, then the next thing you know, we're going to Twister. Aragi has no idea what Twister is. Okay,
So
as a,
he's all innocently like, "Yeah, I'll give it a try."
yeah. So they're playing Twister, and within like the next thing we know, her mom's home. Right, her mom's coming home, and she falls right onto him, like
Reverse
right
cowgirl style. Like,
reverse cowgirl, right? Yeah, and and like the first thing she's just like, "You gotta go. I don't want my parents to think I'm a whore."
I didn't know they were coming home.
Like, girl, I think this is the least of your problems right now. So he's,
You almost got pregnant, girl. Like,
yeah.
come on, honestly.
So obviously that panned out. So that was done. So he hits up Kambaru, and
This is like one of my favorite fucking parts of this whole fucking arc. Like,
yeah, hey,
she's
calls him-
literally sitting on the phone talking to him while taking her fucking clothes off.
yeah. So she's just buck ass naked, right? And like
Oh.
she forgets to close her blinds, and her poor ass grandma has to see her just buck ass naked.
Literally dancing around talking on the phone and fucking no clothes on, just the arm bandage covering up her fucking demon arm.
Yeah, and I mean, that whole conversation's pretty senseless. I mean, it's just a matter of fact that he's all hot and bothered, without admitting it, the fact that she's always just fucking naked.
Yeah. Gotta love her.
It
Gotta love Kambaru.
just reminds me of basketball camp.
I
But
will
shit,
note too, the dramatic hairstyle change with Kabru. I like her better with the long hair,
she
longer hair. I suppose it's still short hair, but
the average, as Aragi says later on, the average person grows 1 centimeter a month, but you grew like fucking four.
exactly.
But so yeah,
But
obviously Mr. Aragi's fucking just, Mr. Perfectionist here. So he volunteers to come over and clean her all her fucking boy love off of her goddamn floor.
I love that too. Like, girl, you a lesbian, but you flirting with Araragi and you read boy love novels.
She's a whole fucking enigma on herself, let's be honest here.
She
So,
might be growing to be one of my favorite characters at this point.
dude, I love her, but Mitch despises her for some damn reason. I don't know
Well, how
why.
could you not love? I mean, maybe Mitch has never had a cute lesbian girl all up on his jock, but speaking from experience, I have. It's fucking great, dude. Like, especially an overly sexual lesbian. Like,
Dude, they're the
not gonna
best.
lie.
They're the best
And
friends to have.
funny enough, dude, the lesbian that I was having relations with at the time also was into boy love novels. So maybe there's a little bit of nostalgia there.
You're just hitting home with every base we run into. So, on his way to her house, this man has a problem with running into people. He runs into Karen, and he tells her, that they plan on chatting when they get home, but he knows that they're up to something after obviously the conversation with Sengoku and every.
This bitch is just fucking handstand walking on the top of a wall.
Oh yeah, she's like
the fuck.
she's like Arnold Schwarzenegger back in the 70s. She's just fucking.
And you know what? She's just out doing community service, volunteer work.
Yeah, she's just helping out the community, just doing things left and right, helping everybody out. She's just a fucking Fred Rogers of the world. So we get to Kambaru's house, and she's still very naked.
Just pouting on the fucking pile of boy love novels.
Just belly down, ass out, still very naked, and obviously, Aragi's gonna, let her get dressed and everything, but she feels defamated, and she tells him that she has to get married to him now because he's seen her backside.
Not the front side though. Not the front side, just the back side.
Well, let's be honest here. For her, that's her curves are. That's where it's at.
Oh, yeah, I definitely cook eggs and bacon on her.
She's got that basketball booty,
All them jump shots, making that booty tight.
Exactly. So she gets, she gets dressed, and the irony is, I think it's really funny that when he's cleaning her room, there's like construction signs everywhere. Like I love the subtle details of this series. Just like I said to you earlier, like watching like everything in the background. If you have enough time to scramble with your eyes, if you're not reading, like just the little details of things like that make me laugh my ass off.
Yeah. I think I even noticed the construction signs at this point, but yeah,
And then like Aragi's like trying to like challenge the fact that she's not really as degenerate as she says she is. And then
but before this, we do get to see this. Is it before this? Yeah, it's before this because I think after this point it cuts, right?
I don't know, what part were you gonna say?
The basketball jersey, dude, where Aragi's
that's after here.
That's after. I thought there was a cut after this. Okay, I'm all out of sorts. He's the expert. Listen to him. Don't listen to me, as you will find out with every Monogatari video that we do.
It's not very far after this, but they have this conversation about how he's testing her about this. And one of my favorite freaking lines that she says is like, "Oh yeah, well, I once misheard family hate as family rape."
Oh my god, dude! Fucking, I I love how one of my favorite parts. It comes to like the climax of this scene, but when Aragi's sitting there and he's like, "Yeah, you're into handsome men. Most girls are into handsome men. It's not like you like the way old men smell or
Yeah,
ugly guys." And then
yeah,
fucking, he turns to her and he's like, maybe I'm more perverted than you."
yeah, yeah. And but like, yeah, she does put on that basketball jersey kind of like right after that, and this is, oh yeah, this reminds me of the times at basketball camp where we just get naked and we just do naked tricks, and it's just like, what the fuck happens at basketball camp, you know?
I wish I knew. Maybe it's similar to what happens at band camp, except with a
Yeah,
basketball instead of a flute.
yeah. Hopefully no flute. And like she's such in disarray about him calling her normal that like she starts to like violate him to try to take his underwear off.
This
And,
scene was ridiculous, though,
and
dude. I love how she fucking gets into like a straight fucking scrambles across, knocking over all the boy love novels that Aragi fucking like
just
stacked
cleaned
up
up.
meticulously,
Yeah.
breaks the fucking floor so the tatami mats are all up and surrounding him like an arena of debauchery.
And I don't know if you noticed this, but you had him notice this. But when he's like getting violated, he gets Hachikuji's face.
And hair, dude. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
and he's literally making the scream, but like it's like Aragi's voice actor trying to mimic
Yeah.
Hachikuji.
And then he like promises never to violate Hachikuji with
But
sexual
we have to
harassment.
talk about the callback, bro. Where fucking Kanbaru literally says, "Stop struggling. It's hard to take off your underwear." Like,
Yeah, that's
well,
true.
she's shoving her hand down his pants,
Oh, dude, she's full up, just gripping his wiener and just trying to
and then
take his pants off.
she's even like sitting there, fucking feeling up his muscles, and she's like, "I like that."
Yeah, like it's like, man. I mean, granted, we'll get to that later. I know that Senju Gohara's been kind of mudded this series, but she like the fact
Yeah,
that she just trusts him with Kanbaru and just Kanbaru enough
this
to be.
complete utter slut of a woman.
Yeah, like she knows how slutty she is, but at the same time, she like denies it every fucking time. Like, oh no, that ain't her. What the fuck do you mean? But like, yeah, he's just violating her man up and down, left and right, and
Like the Araragi harem is definitely in full swing here.
oh yeah, that's pretty much the end of that episode. Um,
The Hachikuji hair, dude, that really fucking got me. I had to go back and rewatch that part just because of it.
yeah, and then so like we're still in the room when the next episode starts, and Kanbaru is kind of talking about like how like she could be his mistress, and freaking between that and freaking Sengoku and the whole freaking
I don't see you marrying fucking Senjo Gahara. All this other stuff.
yeah, and then he's like, well, if that's the logic we're following, Hachikuji would be my wife and you'd be my mistress.
I question this line of logic. I fully did. But it just kind of shows our buddy's got some FBI knocking on your door kind of tastes.
Yeah, 100%. And so they start they start playing that game. I can't think of the name of it. And it's always
I have seen this game in another anime too, and I can't remember off the top of my head
I
what
see it.
was.
I see it all the time, and well, it's in the Reply series, which is a K drama. But either way, Kanbaru loses, and she's a real sore fucking loser about it. But Rocky explains how Sengoku she was a nice, good loser when it came to Twister.
Fucking Kaburu's like, oh, you poor little bastard.
It seems you haven't realized who the true final boss existence is.
Oh my god, and then we get fucking like flashes of fucking Sengoku looking all sultry and skanky, of course.
Yeah. It's so fucking hilarious, dude. Like we said, it honestly, if you're watching this review, you like I said, Nisei is like the lewdest arc of this whole series. So like you pretty much know what you're getting into, but this is just two degenerate males explaining one of the best fucking arcs of all time.
Most degenerate arc, not the most degenerate arc of all time, but as he says, the most degenerate arc in this series we're covering.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, if you've tuned into our previous videos together, we covered quite a few Chain Soldier episodes, so you know we're into our degeneracy.
Right, right. And so like Araragi kind of talks about her arm and about the family and everything, obviously, about if they notice it, and because she doesn't play basketball anymore. And obviously, you know, her family wonders about her arm, but you know, the fact that her mom's dead and all that fun stuff kind of
And
makes a good barrier.
think I think this was a good callback too. We didn't actually touch on it, and I'm just remembering it now. But he was talking to Hachikuji earlier about telling his sisters he was a vampire. And I think that's what this calls back to. I think he's still trying to figure out how to navigate being a vampire and having his human sisters,
Well, he's
and
not a
whether or not
vampire, but he feels
well,
like
sub
one
vampire.
sometimes.
Yeah. Well, you know, being extra than human, you know.
I know, I'm
But
just making crappy Ronnie Radke jokes, but
I don't even follow that fuck anymore. Ever
well,
since he decided to fuck with that one like deathcore band, we're gonna tangent for 2 seconds. That one deathcore band, I can never fucking pronounce their name, but all the dudes look like they're linebackers. And he's like, "I'll meet you outside of your show anytime and fight you." It's like, bro, that dude would lift a pinky and you'd fucking break. Like, fuck off.
well, to be
Quit
fair,
being the Machine Gun Kelly of rock music.
this was 2011 Ronnie Radke. I made a joke about, so
I know, but current Rodney Radke's pretty trash too. So
I don't fuck with him anymore. But in 2011, you know, I was a fucking 15-year-old lad. So
yeah, see, I fucking dropped him after he left Escape the Fates. So
fair enough.
I mean that other song that was like essentially Situations Part 2. That was a pretty decent song, and we know which one I'm talking about.
Do we?
I heard a knock up on my door the other day.
Oh, it was my girlfriend, so I punched her in the face. So
Sorry for the tangent. We'll get back on track.
yeah, back on track now. So yeah, like you said, obviously, yeah, it kind of calls back to that a little bit, and he gets
And yeah, and I think he's trying to navigate the whole his feelings about being this part vampire and whether or not he should tell his sisters. So he's kind of asking what Kanbaru does around her family. Does her family know about the arm? Blah blah blah. And I thought it was really interesting that like so she's had this arm wrapped up at this point for
not very
a
long.
few weeks. It's a few weeks.
Yeah.
An injury that's lasting more than a few weeks that you got wrapped up, but not like splinted or casted, just kind of wrapped. That's questionable.
Scabies.
Scabies, yeah. She got the shingles.
But no, I know what you're saying. I'm just being a smartass.
Well, no, so because that's one of those things that I kind of questioned while I was watching it too. Like, how has her family not really questioned her a little more on it, like pressed her on it? And
like,
she's gonna have this for the next couple years, so she's gonna
three.
have to walk around. Yeah, so she's gonna have to walk around with her arm wrapped up for the next couple years and navigate her family life at this point. She's just gonna keep saying, "Oh, it's re-injured."
Well, like I said, and like she said too, obviously her grandparents don't really press her on anything, considering her mom's dead and everything. So
yeah, so I guess she's got that sort of leeway.
right, and
Dead Mom Club. I'm not part of it.
That's right. I don't do drugs, Mom. No, wait, Mom's not there. So the moment Aragi comes out, we get this nice dark red menacing tone, and we get to meet Kaiki.
Fucking.
Good old.
I don't like him yet. I don't
Oh,
like them yet. But
that's
this was menacing. I loved the visuals on it because it's such a tonal shift between the last scene. And I
yeah.
think that's what this anime does. That's another thing this anime does really well is presents a proper feel that this guy is menacing just by the nice red backdrop with the dead tree and the clamshell.
Oh, then you even get the nice violin music on top of it. That dark, ominous,
And this
minor
this dude
tones.
just this dude just looks like fucking bad news. Like let's face it, he doesn't look like he could fucking like kill or murk anyone or anything like that, but he just looks like a slime ball.
Oh, absolutely.
Like the guy who's sitting in the background rubbing his hands together, twirling his mustache type of guy.
Yeah, that's exactly it too. And at this point, he's pretty much saying that he's looking for Kambaru, but he doesn't realize the name change because obviously he's looking for somebody under her mother's name, but not her surname of her father. So,
Yep.
yeah, he pretty much just kind of learns about Aragi's name, and if you like actually pay attention to like the symbolism in kanjis, their last names are actually pretty much like opposites. like like Kaiki's name is pretty much like dead tree, and Araragi's pretty much like lively tree. But yeah, either way, so like he's just like, oh, never mind, I even came here. Goodbye. And like Araragi was gonna follow his ass, and he changes his mind because obviously he's getting some bad vibes about the
He got
situation.
that spine tickle, and he's like, "Nope." I love how
No,
this scene was done too, because he like goes to follow and then just turns around.
yeah, he's like, nah, I ain't about that life today.
It's a
Sorry.
bad idea.
And then so he's going around, and he runs into his girlfriend finally. And instantly,
Are, are
she
you
is
studying?
yeah, she's not having it. She's mad he was not studying. And like he's trying to explain that, that Hanakawa was, told him that she was busy today, but she don't give a flying fuck. Um,
Fucking calls him like a maggot and all this other
yeah,
shit. Typical
she
Senjo Gahara
yeah,
behavior.
she's using the Sundre trope so hard. Like hard. And like
And she even points it out in this episode too. She's like,
yeah,
"Excuse me, I'm just being underage."
yeah. And like the best part was is like instantly she like pulls out a box cutter and like shoves her finger right in his fucking mouth. And like
Dude, she shoves like half her fucking hand in his mouth. Like, what are you
yeah.
talking about?
And
She's
like
like trying to
she
choke this motherfucker.
she knew exactly how many girls he's seen that day without even fucking telling her. She's just
I
like,
know.
I know you've seen 5 other girls today. Like she
And she even frames it as, "I know you've played with 5 other girls today."
yeah, like it's even like more dirty. Yeah, she's like, I know. And he's just like, I would never cheat on you. And then,
Ugh.
but then she says, "Don't worry, I'm quite tolerant of adultery."
Oh, it's so fucking confusing too, because like she seems like the kind of girl who would snap and fucking like
Yeah.
kill the
Oh,
person he's fucking around with, but she's like, "I'm quite tolerant of it,
yeah.
just as long as you know who you belong to."
And then he's like, "Yeah, there was this weird guy in front of Comberter's house," and she's like, "When did they hang mirrors in front of Comberter's house?"
And then fucking, I thought it was goofy that she knew exactly fucking who it was too.
Well,
Like,
he did say his first name. To be fair, though, he's like
yeah,
some guy named
yeah,
Kaiki. And I mean, how many people that around the area that she probably know named Kaiki that affected her this month or this much in her life?
at least
Um,
15
fair.
is a good guess. Good
Yeah,
guess on her part.
and
1
so
in 15 up.
we kind of go back to the beginning, and where she's talking about obviously Kaiki was the first fraud, and she wants to keep him like, cause obviously we're back in the cramp school, and she wants to keep him locked up until everything's Gucci. Like she doesn't
Yeah,
want
'cause
him to. She doesn't want to
She
get him
frames him to be,
involved.
and she also frames him to be like a dangerous person, like he's in danger, but she's also calling him this complete fraud. So I thought that was a weird sort of back and forth there with like, you're in danger, but this guy's a complete fraud. He really doesn't have any powers and stuff. He just takes advantage of people, and he took advantage of me.
Yeah, he sure did. And so, like,
No,
it's
that was the other guy.
yeah, that was shit. So like his phone starts going off in his pocket, and she's looking for his phone, and she's getting very handsy. Like I feel like
Like,
there was at least a dick grab or two in this whole situation.
oh yeah, he even fucking points it out. Like, whoa, what are you grabbing? My pockets aren't that deep.
And within 2 seconds, yeah, she shows him the text message, and it's his little sister Tsukihi, and she pretty much just said, "I need help." And
And dude, fucking,
he breaks
he's
out
in
of
this
those
situation,
chains.
and he's in this situation the whole time. Which I mean, we'll touch on it later. But he fucking breaks out of these chains like it's fucking nothing, like second nature. They shatter around him. He's still got the fucking handcuff cuffs, I guess, around his wrists and shit, and it's just fucking standing up like, I gotta go.
And like I don't know if I'll just spoil it since we're gonna talk about it a little bit anyways. But I mean it's definitely highly low key mentioned that our girl Shinobu helped him out of that.
Yeah. I can't wait till we talk about that scene. Let's pick that one apart when we get there.
We will. So instantly I even wrote in my notes, that Senjo Gahara is like best girl in the scene because she like obviously appreciates how much he cares for his sisters and everything, and she even apologizes about the whole situation.
And then she gets the phone call next.
I was just gonna get there, and then she gets a phone call, and like she's just like, you can tell this conversation's not going in the way that she really hoped to, and
it was a very, very sketchy conversation. Like, up until it gets explained later, fucking, I had no idea what was fucking going on. I think I even wrote in my notes, like, really fucking weird conversation. Feels like Senjo Gahara is in trouble here.
Oh, I suppose as a first time viewer, you wouldn't really know.
Exactly, because fucking, I thought at this point, like, fucking, there was some weird, menacing shit going on in the background.
Absolutely.
Especially listening to this conversation, because it was I think the words I used was a very ominous conversation.
Yeah, and like she instantly folds and tells Araragi that he can go home. Like it's like it almost felt like an FBI interrogation scene. And, like,
but I think doesn't she even like mention again to stay away from Kaiki?
Yeah, she does, but it's Araragi.
He's gonna get into all sorts of strange.
And so we go on to the next episode, and we get home, and Karen, was she's being a shit as she always kind of is, and obviously all three of them are in the room, so it's Karen, Tsukihi, and Hanakawa, right? And obviously
we don't see Hanakawa yet though, because fucking Karen's being a little shit, and Aragi actually raises his hand at her. And that's when Hanakawa walks in, and it's like, for someone who was so offended by me being hit by my father, looks like you're about to hit your sister.
Right. Domestic violence, not good.
What are you talking about? Keep the violence at home.
Yep. We come to find out that she's been kind of helping the Fire Sisters with the situation at the school and everything, and it's kind of like obviously something that is affecting, like we said earlier, affecting a lot more people than just Senjo Gahara, and
I have to think that in this whole situation, the busyness that Hanakawa had earlier that we talked about with studying had definitely to do with these sisters.
Well, obviously.
Yeah, it's just never fully outright pointed out that way. So
No, it's just implied because they assume
yeah,
that their viewers are smart, but
and
that's never a good thing to imply.
exactly. I'm not smart.
And so like pretty much Araragi even like calls her up her shit because like she wants to like take down Kaiki and everything, but he's like, look, you might always be right, but you're never strong. Like, and that like definitely sticks within this whole arc specifically, and it gets obviously more um developed the further it gets, you know. But like it's
Hmm.
definitely a theme, and they kind of tell him obviously they're looking for the source, the charm, and even like so they split up because like obviously Aragi's just not having it with his sisters, and so he wants to go talk to Hanakawa separately in his room, kind of figure out what's going on. And I do find it hilarious that like when she's kind of like talking to him and like chewing him out a little bit in the sense that he's like mentally thinking to himself like, why is she like always wearing a school uniform? Like, don't you own any other clothes? Like it's fucking like no school right now, and this bitch is still wearing fucking a school uniform.
What I think is goofy about these scenes specifically involving Aragi's home,
Yeah.
aside from his room, the house always looks fucking different.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's always gonna look
Like
different.
that's one of those things that I wanted to mention in Kizu, but completely fucking forgot. The exterior of the house is not even the same house in Kizu.
It's slightly
Like
the
at least
same,
between
but
no, like that house was on fucking stilts and shit. Like it wasn't painted bright yellow like it is in Bake and Nisei. Not
yeah,
even the same house. Like this motherfucker moves around a lot, I guess.
it's the same shape.
Same general shape, it's fine.
It's all good.
It's
And
Gucci.
so, and so obviously, Senju is explaining, or not Senju oh my gosh, Hanakawa is explaining that other people were cursed besides Sengoku, and but not as bad, and that obviously Kaiki's the culprit, obviously, and
I mean, he can't be that ominous and not be the culprit.
yeah, and so like we finally find out that obviously that our girl Hanakawa was the one that called Senjugahara, and we find out what she said, and it was the fact that if you won't be a good girl, I'll ask Araragi to be my boyfriend.
I loved that fucking threat, dude. That was so good. So good.
Dude, like that bitch she's fucking crazy, man. Um,
Yeah.
and so like kind of after that whole thing happens, we go. Araragi needs a bath, right? This motherfucker needs a bath, and the one and only beautiful entrance of Shinobu occurs.
And
And
we get to hear her talk as Shinobu. It's
yeah,
awesome.
this is like the first scene you actually get to see her, be Shinobu, not Heartblade or Kiss Shot Hot Underblade. And so, like, instantly she eats his handcuffs like they're fucking donuts. May I mention?
I noticed that too, dude. It was so fucking goofy.
If it's a circle, she'll eat it.
That
But
gives me an idea. We're not going to elaborate on that any further, but that gives me an idea.
fair enough. But excuse me. Pretty much instantly, she's like, I haven't had a bath in 400 years. Would you mind washing my hair for me since we're here?
He's like, oh yeah, I'll even condition it too, baby girl. Don't you worry about it. Yeah, I'm all into fucking children and shit. Don't clip that.
Please, yeah. Yeah. For purposes, that's Aragi. And instantly, Instantly, she's demanding the golden chocolate donuts, like right off the bat. Like she ain't wasting no time.
I was
Um,
so confused about these golden chocolate donuts at this point because I was like, "What the fuck are they?"
they're just
Because like,
mochi donuts with chocolate frosting and golden sprinkles.
yeah, but the golden chocolate is what threw me off because I thought it was like a different flavor of chocolate. You know how we have like milk chocolate and white chocolate.
Oh, American chocolate is dick.
True that.
So, so obviously, Shinobu is kind of explaining to Aragi what's affecting Kaden, because her poor fucking ass had to listen to Oshino talk about every single fucking apparition for a month or so, and so she kind of explains that it's this giant hornet, and she's obviously bitching about the fact that she had to learn all this from Mei, and then
I thought that was funny too.
yeah, she's like, I had to listen to that kid just whine for hours about freaking everything.
I had to deal with you just talking about apparitions, and I didn't care. It was boring.
And I just sat in my damn corner with my cool ass helmet and didn't listen to shit. But yeah, so she pretty much describes how it starts with a fever and ends in death, right? And like
Yep.
it feels like you're on fire. And
Hence,
so
it was like something heat hornet or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was called, but
yeah. And then like pretty much instantly, like he's pretty much getting called out for staring at her butt. And he's
well,
just
they're in the tub together, and she's
right,
fucking wiggling it like
right. And she's like
you like staring at little girls' tushies.
and he's just like, I'm not looking, and obviously he's got the finger clearly open through the closed space, classic trope. And like freaking
Our boy's got a taste, that's for sure.
and she threatens to scream if he doesn't offer to buy her donuts. So, like, clearly he's gonna buy her donuts. And within like 2 seconds, she doesn't even have to scream because Tsukihee just comes into the bathroom and sees Shinobu. And,
I thought this was so fucking funny, dude. Like, she slams the fucking door and comes back with a knife and a fucking pan.
I was just gonna say that. Then she comes back with a knife, and
And I thought
apparently,
someone was here. Must have been my imagination.
apparently knocking's taboo in this household.
Well, they all want to. Our Augie affects everyone, including his sisters.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And obviously Shinobu, talks about her lifespan, and still, is kind of salty about him not killing her. But
Yeah, and he kind of questions his lifespan too, because at this point they don't know how long they're gonna live because they both sort of have that touch of vampire in them. So
well, she knows she'll be fine, but it's I think it's more or less the fact of Araragi, because obviously she kind of comes to the conclusion that he could probably live as long as she does.
and I like how she brings it up in questions like, "Are you ready to watch everyone you know around you die?"
Except for her.
We'll be together in the end, and then there's that fucking cut to them like in the same bathtub, but like in a destroyed city version of it.
Yeah.
Fucking the imagery in this is fucking awesome. Like I liked that, fucking
Oh, it's
it's
absolutely
good stuff.
beautiful. So after that, we meet with his little sis, and he's only in a towel, and
What like he would be around anyone under well, I think the legal age of consent is different in Japan, but we're just gonna put it's under our legal age of consent.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 16 in Japan. So, but either or,
Okay, so
it's still a sister.
I mean,
you know,
he's yeah.
either way, she's platinum mad, which is foreshadowing for the next intro. Um, but she explains that when she's more mad than she is regularly mad, she's platinum mad.
Oh, fucking dorky. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god, his younger sister's a fucking dork.
Oh, she absolutely is. And like, you know, she's really pissed off that he has no friends, even though he explains to her that she has five.
I have five friends. Five is plenty. It's more than
I
I have.
that's about more than I have too. And so like before anything can happen, Hanakawa's in the room and his towel falls down and his penis is showing for everyone instantly, of course.
And it's not like Hanakawa hasn't kind of seen it before, but
Right,
she
but
throws on the whole embarrassed.
yeah, especially in front of his poor little sisters.
Yeah, I mean, his little sisters, no one Araragi, his little sisters have seen his penis too, so. To be fair.
So we get this flash of obviously when we get to Karen approaching Kaiki, and she pretty much is obviously immature, and all she does is she just wants to punch him.
I want to punch you. Oh, sorry, I was yawning, boys and girls. I want to punch you because you're an evildoer, and I am justice, the embodiment of justice.
That's right, and he's like, no, that would hurt me. I don't want to get hit.
I don't like being punched. It's something I rather don't enjoy.
Yeah, he's just
Twist
like
his mustache.
Yeah, he's just like me. He's just like, I don't want to fucking get hit. What the fuck are you doing? He's like, I've just been selling these kids what they fucking want. Like, what more do you want from me?
This isn't a complete scam that I'm running, even though it is. I'm scamming them because kids are dumb. Sips
he's
beverage.
Not wrong, especially high school kids, So
these are middle school kids, though. Like, they're even dumber.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're Japanese middle school, but they're 15, 16. I mean, they're American high school.
Yeah, but to be fair, probably smarter than your average American 15, 16-year-old with the education system and whatnot. So,
100%. So, like I said, she wants to do it all by force, and he just wants money. That's all he gives a fuck about. And like,
why would I want to get punched when I can make money?
Yeah, specifically 3 million yen. That seems to be a number for these apparition specialists.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah. So he gives Karen the B, and he pretty much quotes. I like this quote that assume everyone is a con man, and
yeah. I liked the visuals in this part as she's kind of sort of falling to the floor, and it's just that whole trippy aesthetic around the room and all that. It's kind of insane. Like, I would not want to watch this on any mind-elevating chemicals, as we've discussed about Kizu.
I wouldn't watch any of this series on mind-altering chemicals, I'll be honest with you. So, like, he goes and he's like, yeah, guess what, bitch? Your physical violence? Yeah, I put this on you. 10 million yen to remove it.
Good luck with that physical violence with this on you.
Yeah, and then he takes her last 4,000 yen out of her wallet because she already.
already have a train ticket.
You already have a train ticket, so I'll just take.
I'll be nice to leave. I'll be nice and leave you. You fare for the train. Psych, you have a train ticket. Bye.
Yeah. It's absolutely fucking hilarious.
Oh my god, dude, I was cracking up during that part.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna fucking lie. Like, I did not know what was gonna happen, but I was not expecting that.
Right. And so we kind of go back to the normal time, and Araragi. This is just a note I have. He gets a booby touch pass from Hanakawa. But
yeah, and then she's like, yeah, if you ever touch them, I will hate you forever.
Yeah, she's like, I gave this to you, but if you ever use it, fuck you.
And then I think, isn't this the part 2 where we start to see Karen actually having her fever?
Yes. So he goes up, and she's having her complete fever, and Aragi is gonna give her a wash down, a washcloth wash down because obviously
Yeah.
she's in no shape to take a bath. You know. Oh,
Despite our Rocky being like, "You need to take a bath. Go take a bath," she's just like, "Nope." And he's like, "Fine, I'll wash you."
yeah, and so he does, you know, and it gets a bit sexual, and you know,
Good old thigh rub down. Let me take your shirt off so I can wash your back.
yeah, and he does his thing, and then he kind of talks a little bit more to Shinobu about how possibly he could transfer the illness to him via coincidentally kiss, and
So this is funny because between watching this series and Kizu, I actually was able to cram an anime in there that was literally all about kissing. Fucking Yamada-kun and the Seven Witches. So all I can picture during this is just like, I need you to kiss me. Don't ask questions.
yeah, and he just kisses his fucking sister, which is a common trend here. Kiss
Fucking
sis.
sister kisser. Yeah, kiss sis. I still need to finish the OVAs, guys. Don't worry about it.
You're fine. You don't need to. Um.
I heard the
So
OVAs are the spicier content in that series. I need to.
okay, that's fair. And so we
Like,
get
I
to
watched one of them and, like, so what if I want to fuck my sister?
yeah, yeah.
Don't
So
clip
what?
that. Don't clip that.
Well, that seems to be a common trend on the itchy guys part today, doesn't it, folks?
It seems to be. I'm saying things I probably shouldn't because if they were taken out of context, I'd probably have people knocking on my door.
Man, this is good content. So essentially, he got rid of some of the poison, but not all of it. It was like 50% of it. And so
Yeah,
the
so
next,
he's running like half her fever.
yeah, and so he runs outside, and who does he see? Hachikuji. And
And
instead of
I'm gonna say this is probably my favorite Hachikuji interaction so far.
yeah, so he only shoulder taps her because obviously, as we remember from a little bit ago, uh, after Kambaru, sexually harassed him, he promised not to do it to Hachikuji, but he doesn't do it to her, and she is not having it, and she straight up tells him, "You remove the sexual harassment from Araragi, and there's nothing left but a flea."
And then I love the fucking part where she literally drops the line. Do you think no really means no?
Yeah, she's like, yeah, just the fact that she's like, this is the best part of like interacting with you, and you just removed it. Like, what? Oh, what are you doing?
Oh my god. Oh,
It's
it's so
rough.
fucking funny, dude. It is
It's
so fucking funny.
yeah. It's brutal. Um, it's freaking yeah. I
Still,
love it.
that
I love it.
that whole dichotomy between like her fighting against the sexual harassment every fucking time you see her, and then
Yeah,
all of a sudden not getting it from him. It's ridiculous. It's
I
and
think that's
absurd.
I
And
think
then
that's
fucking
what
I literally lost it when she was like, "Do you think no really means no?"
I think that's what the kids nowadays call grooming. But you know,
Oh,
no.
oh, no,
But
that was an oh, not a no. That was a oh.
oh, yeah. But
Oh,
they kind of have a serious conversation about the sisters and everything, and they have this quote they do like, and it's coming from Hachikuji herself, about a kid acting like an adult is as bad as an adult acting like a kid, And obviously they're comparing it to Karin because obviously she tries to and obviously act like an adult, but doesn't have the know-how or drive to finish the situation. Going
And
back to the statement we
I really
talked about
felt this
earlier.
line too because I really felt this line too because especially being around our age, you do see a lot of people around our age with very, very childish views on the world.
Yep.
Um, and it is terrible, you know. Fucking, it's just as dangerous as a kid trying to act like an adult. It's not like so a kid acting like an adult, the kid's obviously gonna get hurt. But I feel like if you throw the opposite direction, an adult acting like a kid, it only hurts everyone around them.
Yep. Oh no,
So
you're 100%
I
right.
thought it was I thought it was a brilliant line, especially being at the age that I am now and have gone through both experiences, growing up, being around uh, kids who should have just been acting like kids at the time, but really wanted to play in the adult world but weren't ready. And then coming into adulthood and seeing all these adults still holding on to their childish beliefs very dearly and dying on that hill it harms everyone. There are
Well,
no clear winners.
right, and that's the thing about this series. Even with Nisei, as lewd as it is, one thing I do really respect and love, as I've been kind of telling you about this series as we go along, is just there's still really like serious messages along the way, even for as lewd as it is sometimes. There's still
and
really
and i
really good
i think
parts, you know.
I think those messages hit harder when you're in a situation like when you're watching these animes. They don't seem super serious, and I think once they hit their serious tones, even if they're just passing glimpse at seriousness, they hit all the harder, contrasted with just the ridiculous moments. So like a couple episodes ago, you had fucking literally Araragi trying to rip off Hachikuji's panties. And then this episode, you have Hachikuji dropping fucking truth bombs on Araragi. That just complete polar opposite contrast really makes the serious tones hit.
Yeah, exactly. And so after this, we got Sanjogahara pretty much planning to kill Araragi. Uh,
What's new?
yeah, what's new there because of Mistress Hanakawa. Um, and she's
This
going.
is this is where he shows up at her apartment, right?
Yep. And we're gonna go meet Kaiki.
I gotta say one thing because I made a note about it.
Yeah, what's up?
The ridiculous tower of sharpened pencils and how
Oh,
it changed all the time. The pencils in this scene, dude,
oh,
so the scene starts off, he knocks on her door, he comes in and she's fucking sitting there sharpening a pencil with an X-Acto knife. And then you
yep.
have like a Jenga tower of pencils, and I think they even form it into different shapes a bunch of times throughout this whole scene.
Oh,
But I don't know
absolutely,
what
they
it
do.
was, dude. The weird visuals with the pencils, I loved it.
Oh yeah, it's if you have ADD or anything like that, ADHD, this show's 100% for you.
I don't have that.
Yeah,
Don't.
you and I are not diagnosed at all. Um,
It's not like I was on meds in first grade or anything.
Absolutely not. So she's going to meet Keiki, and she feels like it's a must to take care of it herself. Um, Especially considering the fact that she feels that it was a part, not the main reason, but a part of the reason her parents split. Um, but she'll take him with her under one condition. And you know what that condition is?
What's that condition, Mr. Squids?
She's not gonna tell him until afterwards.
Oh no.
But
It's
this,
Senjo Gahara being Senjo Gahara again.
but it's heavily implied that Hanakawa is literally bullying the fuck out of her.
It's so funny to think because, like, so yeah, we see glimpses of Hanakawa Black in fucking Bake, but I don't even think Senjo Gahara ever gets involved with Hanakawa Black. And Hanakawa, being such a straight-laced, studious, class president person, is just bullying this complete fucking psycho for the most part. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not even gonna fucking sugarcoat it. She's pushing Yandere fucking territory, even though she's proclaimed Sundere.
Yeah, oh no, dude, it's all fucked up. Yeah, yeah. And so, before we know it, obviously, um, Araragi goes home, or Koyami, since we're gonna deal with a few Araragis here. Goes home and Karen's disappeared. She just left, and Tsukihi has no idea where she went. But so he goes to look for her, and Shinobu, she just can't sleep because obviously she feeds off of his mental energy. So if he's thinking about anything or feels pain about anything, this poor bitch has to fucking feel it. And he won't shut the fuck up. So obviously she offers to help. But it has to be a demand. Like she won't just do it. He has to
Yeah,
fucking demand her to do it.
it's
At
gotta be a like master servant relationship that's
some
very much pointed out. Like, I won't do anything for you out of the kindness of my heart.
some
You have to
Ogoji
demand it as my master.
some Ogoji some Ogoji sama shit. Um so yeah, we get there and yeah.
This fight scene was kind of fun.
Yeah, we get the she pretty much calls him a kiss freak right off the bat. Because I mean, to be fair, the last time those two interacted, he just kind of kissed her, and
Yeah,
she wants to fight over it.
after
And
bathing.
yeah, after fucking rag bathing her, and she she's like, I think she thinks she's just gonna win instantly, but like, well, I mean, to be fair though, literally in seconds, he's like flying, and like he's just not having a good time in this fight. I mean, he's got an opie robe, and like he's getting the fuck beat out of him, right?
Yup.
And there's even like a crotch launch, if I remember correctly, and like
I think so.
like it's this fight's actually this very shonen. It's like a very shonen fight. If I
And I thought that was interesting because we didn't really get any of that coming in to this point of the series. Not the series, but this part of the series, this part of Nisei. And then all of a sudden they throw this fucking shonen-esque battle at us where fucking she's literally like leaping through the air doing flips and shit.
yeah. And this whole time she's trying to resolve some self justice. Like she's like, I'm fucking blah 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 blah.
I'm strong, Raggy
Yeah,
brother.
yeah,
Sorry, I
yeah.
flubbed it. Bit my tongue.
Yeah. And like he even like tells her like after the fight because he's just not giving up because obviously he's got his vampire healing abilities and obviously she doesn't know about that, but he's got those, so he's not gonna fucking give up, and he kind of explains everything to her that we've kind of talked about, and he even like tells her to make sure not to fall in love with him because it would be incest.
Oh my god! And then later
we,
we'll talk
we,
about it later.
yeah, we will, but we wouldn't want that, would we?
No,
Absolutely not. So
absolutely not.
we get to the confrontation of Kaiki and Senjo Gahara and everybody, and He pretty much just like, look. Your fucking sister is gonna be good in 3 days.
It was
I'll
hypnosis.
Yeah, it was hypnosis. I'll give Senju Ogahara her money back. But Senju Ogahara clearly doesn't want her money back. He just wants him to get the fuck out of town. And like, uh, um, um, he's like, the bee was fake, because they believed it, and like, pretty much he's like denouncing like how this whole thing was like not real, and he kind of explains the backstory about it too, about how like back in the day there was this like tribe, and like, um, you know, pretty much long story short, it was all a mental virus apparition essentially, and
Yeah,
so
it really kind of leans towards the fact that this guy just does not believe in apparitions.
right, um, and so instantly Senjo Gahara goes up to him and asks for his cell phone, and takes his cell phone, throws it on the fucking ground, and like stomps on it and says, "It's oh god, it's the kid's own fault." It's pretty much oh god, I'm trying to remember that shit. He said it. She
Yeah,
said,
because he's essentially like, how am I ever supposed to pay back the middle schoolers and stuff like
"Yeah,
that?
yep. There we go."
And
Because
she's like, I don't give a shit about those middle schoolers. It's their own fault for falling for it.
yeah, yep. And then he does mention that the man that tried to R her uh was killed by a car. And like at the same time she's kinda like, how the fuck would you know that? Like the fact that you like would give a fuck about it. And like, and then Kaiki kinda goes along the lines of like, I know you used to like me, but blah 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 blah, and like, and then he leaves pretty much, and then like Aragi asked about it, and she's like, even if I did kind of like him, it was just because the fact that he was the first person to try to help me,
It was that
essentially.
savior complex. I don't know if that's exactly what it's called, but
No, that
essentially the savior complex.
yeah, that's pretty much exactly what it is, and he kind of asked what the compliment or what the request was from her, and like at first she just kind of like wants a compliment, but then she kind of like low key insinuates that they're gonna fuck that night. Uh,
Yeah, and I love the whole compliment thing because she's like, I just want a compliment from you. And he's like, that was your condition. And she's like, no, that's just what you should be doing as a boyfriend.
yeah, yeah. It's like your normal term, but tonight we're gonna fuck. I mean, she doesn't say that, but it's very, very insinuating.
Yeah,
Like she's
very
like,
much so. Like, I was
she,
like, ooh, Aragi gonna get something. And it's not from a ghost girl.
she's like, yeah, right. She's like, she's like, I've kind of worked past my fucking traumatic experience, and yeah. So also, the Scissor Sisters. the two, I wrote that as a
Scissor sisters.
I wrote that as a note because that's when Aragi comes home and they're sleeping together naked.
Oh, yeah. Oh my god. And then like doesn't he like later in this fucking scene like literally comment like, you fucking weird Yuri sisters?
Yeah. So like, I had to write that note because
Oh,
I was like,
yeah, no, I get
it,
it. It
it's
was a nice little scene.
it's
Nice little visual.
the Scissor Sisters, right? So
Right. And they're fucking buck ass naked too.
no, that's exactly, that's just it. They're cuddling on a twin size bed, buck naked, the Scissor Sisters. And so we get to the next episode, which is the new arc, which is Tsukiji Phoenix, with the new intro, which is Hakuken Disco or Platinum Disco, which is like one of the most popular songs of the series completely.
It was a good song. I liked the visuals of this intro though a lot.
Yeah.
Honestly, out of all of them so far, besides the Hanakawa's titty intro, and just because titty, this is probably my favorite visually.
Yeah, and ironically, this is like the shortest arc of this. Well, obviously, there's like 2 arcs in the series, but it's the shortest arc of it. It's like 4 episodes. And obviously, with
So
what's up?
I will say though, I don't feel like the last arc was one cohesive arc, whereas I feel like this is one cohesive arc because you had, like, even with the intro splits, you had 2 intros that were the Senjo Gahara intro, and those
Yep.
episodes definitely centered more around Senjo Gahara. So it almost feels like they were separate parts of they were a separate arc within an arc, just
Well,
like when we watched Bake. We had one Senjo Gahara intro in the middle of the Metal Cat intro. Um,
I mean that's
that felt
true,
completely disjointed.
but at the same time, I mean, with the Futa Kotome and Marshmallow Justice intro, they both, in a sense, I mean, they are technically almost 2 different arcs, but at the same time, they both have to do with Kaiki and his mischievous
Yeah.
ways. But at the same time, I know what you're saying because hers is like past aggressions, and obviously, Karen's is just dealing with this piece of shit.
So it's
So,
like 2 different themes within the same arc, whereas this one felt like a more cohesive theme to it.
right, and I totally understand that. So we get to this arc, and this is August 14th when this starts, and obviously the last arc started on July 24th. So we're looking at a 20-day difference here, and so we get into this, and instantly this is the infamous episode. Um, Car- Carlin
The
comes,
thumbnail.
yeah, key thumbnail, baby. Carlin comes in a skirt, and he is instantly very flustered, and he assumes that she's been bullied, because obviously she would never wear something like that. Um,
Isn't it? Doesn't she literally imply too that she's fucking wearing it for him, as fucked up as it is?
yeah, brother, hotter than fire, baby. But she's really happy to get the compliment from her brother. Like she's
let's
pretty
air
happy
quote
about it.
happy,
Like a
air quote happy.
like a snake on a stick, baby.
I don't even know what that means, but we're gonna go with it.
So I'm gonna open my warm course now. So
Yes, on today's menu is warm Coors and whiskey.
that's what it is today, baby. Um, and when
1 year old warm Coors, like.
hell yeah, and when you're doing a really long Monogatari video, you gotta have drinks. There's no
I
other way
mean,
around it.
I feel like our whole spiel should just be like drunk animes I recommended to Ecchi Man.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. But so we come to find out that Karen really wants to meet Kambaru, especially after the comparison, and we find out that there's this whole like freaking article, pretty much written about her, and in this, it's a fan club specifically, and
Yep.
in these fan club pictures, obviously, our boy is in the pictures with her. Like, we get like some offerings from Carden, like feet licking and virginity offering.
Yep. She just wants to throw that right at her brother. Like, brother, take my virginity so I can meet your lesbian friend that is good at sports.
She's good at she's got that badonkadonk and she can shoot that 3-pointer. Let's meet that
I don't,
girl.
I don't, I don't understand that she's a lesbian right now, and this is the reason why you're not wanting me to meet her.
Yeah, but alright. So incoming toothbrush scene. Okay.
Let's play a game.
Yeah,
If you
yeah,
win the game,
yeah, yeah. If you can win this game, I'll introduce you to my lesbian friend. And so she's like, "Yeah, let's do this shit. Anything you can think of."
what
And
kind of
so
game you want to play, Oni-chan?
want to play a little game. And so he comes.
Dude, when you said that way, dude, I thought of like the fattest, fucking like balding, snaggle tooth, fucking mustard stains on white wife beater dude just walking up. You want to play a little game?
All I ever think about when I say that is that TikTok from like 10 years ago, where the
Honestly,
guy,
the
the
perfect fucking imagery, dude. Men in Black 1. The dude who's all possessed by the fucking alien and doing all the weird shit. That's who I thought of.
I just think you haven't seen this TikTok. It's the guy in the jigsaw mask on the little tricycle. And he just goes, "You want to play a little game?" And then the fucking handlebars rip off the tricycle and he falls on his ass. But if not, I'll send it to you later. So it's
Yeah, send
absolutely,
it to me later.
yeah, it's absolutely hilarious. So he comes back out with a toothbrush and toothpaste, and immediately Carden thinks he's gonna shove it up her ass. Like, I don't know.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah,
I was
she,
too busy with the next part of this scene.
yeah, she's just like
No,
instantly thinking that he's gonna shove this toothbrush up her butt.
and then he's
Like,
like, "No, I'm not gonna shove it up your butt. We're gonna brush your teeth." And she's like, "You're gonna brush your teeth?"
yeah. It's a test of trust and psychological resistance, to be specific. And he
you
tells
ever,
her,
you ever had your hair done?
yeah, oh yeah. You gotta trust that person, right? Right. And like I'm
You
thinking to
don't want
myself,
some weird person touching your hair.
and I'm thinking to myself this whole time too. Like even every time I watch this, like, has she never been to a dentist? Like has she never had anybody in her mouth before? Expect
Phrasing.
right, and especially considering it's her brother, like you'd think there'd be quote unquote trust here. But he tells her if she can make it 5 minutes with him brushing her teeth, he'll let her meet Comforter. And obviously, she's a tough motherfucker. So
This will be easy. I will win so fast.
yeah, like instantly, we're messing with that interior with some over stimulation. And
The fucking under the tongue part, dude. Oh my god.
I was just gonna mention that was my favorite part. He gets
Oh,
under
no,
the
my
tongue.
favorite part. My favorite part was the weird toe curl.
Yeah, no, yeah, he does the tongue and there's the toe curl and her moan makes
And
his
the fucking
heart
just.
react like he's fucking falling, and like even saying that it's better than Hanakawa, like he's fucking going like ham. He's like,
Has my sister always been more beautiful than Hanakawa?
yeah, dude, this motherfucker's in the fucking heat. Like he's like just all up on this bitch, and like fucking instantly she's just like, it's okay.
You
And
can touch my titties, Oni-chan.
and dude, her eyes are watering, and like he's gonna grab her
The
tits, and like,
faces she makes during this whole scene, bro. Like, especially when he first starts brushing her fucking teeth.
yeah,
Like, girl straight looks like she's taking the most wild fucking ride.
yeah,
Mr. Araragi's wild fucking ride.
yeah, dude, and like when her eyes are watering, she's got spit just dripping down her fucking mouth. Like she's in for the most wild toothbrush ride of her life.
And
And
then cute little sister.
Yeah, Suki walks in and like instantly she's just like dude, she's asking all the right questions. I'm gonna be
Why
honest
are
with
you
you.
on top of her? Why are you brushing her teeth?
Yeah,
Why
yeah,
do you look
what's
like you're about to grab her breasts?
yeah, like there's so much going on. And then like somehow like we get just like 10 seconds of post brush clarity for like 10 seconds.
After she leaves the house to go buy alls.
I was
Now,
just
if
gonna
you
say,
don't know
I was
what
just gonna say,
alls are,
you
they're
explain it.
they're, es- they're essentially a pointed tap for a hammer.
Yeah,
So yeah, they're pretty dangerous. Like this is kind of what you'd get lobotomized by.
right, right,
You
right.
know.
And she's like, well, they might not sell it there, but I know they sell it here. But yeah, no, like she just totally, Karen just totally distracts her with that, like instantly. And
And then
like,
my favorite fucking part, bro.
yeah, and like she realizes she
Fucking
won, but she wants to
well,
keep going. Best two out
and
of
not
three,
only
baby.
and not only that she won, but she won by like a large margin. Like they
Yeah,
went on for a while from what they make it seem.
you
Like
know,
I don't know how much longer than 5 minutes she went for, but she went longer than 5 minutes.
I was gonna say I can't remember. I should have wrote it down from the clock, but I think it was almost 20 fucking minutes, man. And like, like,
Round two, baby.
we want to
Round
go
two,
best
Oni-chan.
best two out of three. And then like my favorite part is like towards the end of like the end of the episode. He's like, we got along way better after that.
And then I like too how the visual of both of their bodies laying on the bed, but their bodies aren't there. It's just literally an outline in fucking alls.
Yeah, yeah, it's beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah. So we get to the next part, and Converter's kind of regretting saying that she'll meet his sister, because she doesn't want to take her virginity.
Fucking
he says
Converu.
he says he says the most out of pocket shit in the world, where he's just like, I'd rather take it myself than give it to you.
You had your chance, dude. You had your chance.
Yeah, and like, what the fuck you doing, bro? Like, who just says that shit? Like,
Oh my god, dude, it's so fucked, but it's so fucking funny. Like,
yeah, yeah, and then
oh, none of this should be funny, but it's hilarious.
yeah, I forget, like, and so that thought is enough for me, and so like
Ugh.
the fucking rock paper scissors game to see who will carry who to Converter's house.
Dude, this fucked with me so hard.
How
I
so?
did not realize that bitch is that tall.
Which one?
She's a good fucking
Karen?
Karen. She's a
Yeah.
good she's like a good 2 inches fucking taller than Araragi in this scene.
Yeah, she's probably got her pumped up kicks on.
All the other kids with their
Yeah.
pump. That song's about a school shooting, guys. We're not talking about such deep subjects. We're talking about incest.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that's pretty deep too. So, so we,
Depends
we,
on how far you take it, how deep you go.
if you're going as far as Koyami, it's pretty far. Him. So, it's funny because Karen's like, Aragi was gonna go first, and she's like, no, no, no. You do it that way, people cheat. So I'll go first, and she does it, and she fucking cheats herself, doing the exact same
Well,
thing he was gonna fucking do.
the funny thing is, she's like, I know a way to win rock paper scissors every time. Then she goes rock paper and then throws, and she's like,
Yeah.
see, if you throw on scissors, or if you throw on paper instead of scissors, they won't know what to do and they're not ready, so they've waited long enough, so they automatically lose.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So obviously he's like, you cheated, so fuck you. You have to carry me. So, yeah. So like instantly, like they have this really awkward transition. Um, essentially with him getting on her shoulders and
Ponytail being in the way.
the ponytail's in the way, and his hog is rubbing on her back of her head, making it awkward.
No, this scene stuck with me for one reason and one reason only. And boys and girls, it's not the hog.
Is it the
This
fact
girl.
that she cut her hair with a key in like 2 seconds?
Yes.
And then the irony was,
And it's just like, oh, there's the trash. Throws it out.
and the irony was, I don't know if you noticed this, but the moment she cuts her hair, her egg hair piece flies up and it lands perfectly in her hair again.
Yeah.
Without her putting it in, it just falls in and just sets perfectly in her fucking hair again.
These egg hair pieces have to have some significant meaning because my attention was drawn to them at all fucking times.
Oh, they kind of, we'll get there. And then she does the perfect squat. There's plenty of memes about this perfect squat, but we all know about the perfect squat.
Oh my god, it was a perfect squat. This is like the lewdest squat I've seen in anime.
There's gash and everything. It's the perfect squat.
And fucking Araragi's kind of just there, like, oh.
Yeah, it's the perfect squat.
It's my sister.
That was half the animation budget was that squat. So
of the whole series, guys.
yeah, the whole 80, 90 episodes, including the next series we're getting here. That's what it was. It was that squat.
They blew the budget on the squat.
That's right. And so she clearly tells him that weight's not a problem. It's his crotch. So she's like, look, dude, we can cut your fucking dick off. And he's like, I'd rather we did it.
He's like, no, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Don't do that. Fuck it.
Fair,
and then she's like, it's not the weight. It's the balance. I'm losing balance because of the way your weight is sitting.
And it's funny.
Why don't you move your center of gravity like a giraffe?
Yeah. It's funny though because like he's talking about how he's worried it wouldn't grow back, but I'm pretty sure it would with his vampirism.
Actually, yeah.
So he's just being kind of a bitch. He's just being a bitch about it.
So he should have just let his sister cut his dick off.
Right.
I mean, there's plenty of reasons to cut his dick off at this point, but
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, if anything,
a piggyback ride. Like, if anything, this is justice for all the other shit.
Yes. And so, right after this scene, we get to meet Kagenui Yodoru, and she wants to know where the cram school is, and one specifically. Not like there's a whole fuck ton around the area, but for some reason, Araragi thinks this is a golden opportunity to call Hanakawa to get directions for this place. And so, he calls her, and she's like, you're a fucking dumbass because it's the school, the one you've been going to.
The one that you've been seeing Oshino at, and the one that you're hanging out at.
Yeah. And so, like, she knew he was, going to Kambaru, if you know what I'm saying.
Just out of nowhere, too, like.
Yeah, like, dude, these women.
How do they always have tabs on him?
He's predictable. He doesn't have NordVPN. NordVPN.
You know what I like to do when I'm popping on my NordVPN for my illicit watching Monogatari because I don't want anyone to know where I'm at when I'm watching Monogatari?
What?
I like to sip on an ice cold Rippets.
Oh, me too. And you know what? I think those two things go hand in hand.
Yep. If you're watching three things. things. If you're watching Monogatari, you might as well have NordVPN, because then the FBI can't track you for watching weird anime involving 9-year-olds and sisters and more 9-year-olds and more sisters.
And you know
And
what? If they still existed, I'd recommend buying the physical copy of it from Right Stuff Anime. But they no longer exist. So you know what? If I were you, I would not give a single fucking penny to Crunchyroll. I'd go to buyAnime.com.
and I'm not gonna say it, but I'm gonna say it. Unless you're making bank, dude, just buy an eye patch.
Or you could do that, But I have the whole series on Blu-ray with the first press because I'm a Chad. So
I thought you were a squid.
I am a squiddy Chad.
Uh,
So
a chwid?
we'll go with that. So
Or a squad.
yeah. So I'm a squad. So he gets over this whole situation, tells her the directions, and she tells him if he runs into a little girl with specific details to give her the same directions that he gave to her. And so he drops off his sister at Converdu's house, and he insults
Well,
her.
I'd like to point out too that during this whole fucking scene, after these two characters, I do not have a grasp on their names and who's who at this point. But after the nice lady leaves, Yotaru.
Yep.
After Yotaru leaves, fucking Karen notes like she's intimidating. I would not face her in a fight. This girl who's all about fighting and stuff. She probably even has a better grasp on fighting than my sensei does. So that's kind of, foreshadowing that this character seems to be an important character at this point, and even Little Miss Headstrong can take you on. Headstrong can take on anyone. Wouldn't even take her on.
Well, I would mention another point, if you want me to. That's not a spoiler, but it's kind of a spoiler. That's not gonna ruin the story, but it'll make you think about it.
Does she take her on? Was she headstrong?
No, but I don't know if you noticed this, but Yotaru never touches the ground.
I did not notice that.
Yeah, so think about that for a while we continue on in this series. Because
now I'm gonna have to retrace the rest of her scenes in my head.
Yep, and so after that, he drops her off to Kambaru, and he insults the both of them, and they still smile with their Yuri laughter and smiles going on. We don't want to know what happens, after he drops her off, but
I kind of do though.
I bet you do.
That's my shtick.
Yeah, that's the etchy man stick. And so he drops her off, and we're on to the Christ didn't rise once, but he rose 2 or 3 times or something. Maybe that was Goku. But we get the third Hachikuji in this season.
This is, oh my god, dude! I love this fucking interaction too.
He's literally debating how he's gonna greet her, and he's like, I'm gonna do it calm, but he went for a full-on attack, right? And instantly he's running towards her, and Shinobu trips his ass out of the shadow.
Hand reaches out of the shadow, dude.
Yeah.
And I thought it was so fucking funny how he gets up and just starts fucking stomping on his shadow, being like, God fucking damn it, Shinobu, you ruined it.
We got ourselves a jelly lolly. And
I'm not familiar with that flavor. Lolly jelly?
The jelly lolly, the lolly jelly, yeah, it's a flavor. And so and he even mentions that he's only interested in the future body of her because she's big for a younger gal,
almost too big. I'm not gonna lie.
For Hachikuji.
Oh, for Hachikuji, I thought we were fucking referring because No, I
No,
thought we were
because
referring back towards.
well, after she trips him, he doesn't really do much about it. But he's like talking to Haji Kuji about he's only interested in her future body because she's big for being a 10-year-old.
Oh, there's no way I could say phrasing on that one because there's no other
Yeah,
better way to phrase that.
yeah. But that's what he's pretty much saying, and he's like talking about how he loves Hanakawa, but he's dating Senjugahara, and he'd
But
marry
she wants,
and he'd marry
yeah.
Haji Kuji.
Oh God,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
this boy's messed up.
He's all fucked up in the head. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing with his life. And then incoming, it's Yotsugi, my girl Yotsugi Ononoki, and she just like shows up, right? She just shows up, and like she just realizes like she could see the apparitions, like instantly she asks for directions. He kind of gives it to her, and like they kind of both just realize like she could see Hachikuji. Like I don't know why they didn't like
Yeah,
put two and two together right off the bat, but like she clearly seen Hachikuji, and like that's like a sign right off the bat because obviously seeing the snail is not something everybody can do. And so like the fact that it took them a minute to put that together is kind of ironic, but it is what it is. I love her. She's one of my favorite characters, even if she's just a fucking mannequin.
yeah. I don't have much of an opinion on her yet. I
Yeah,
mean,
you'll get more
the
on
up.
her the further we get into this, but you don't really get much of
Yeah,
her out of this series. But God, I
I
love
do
her.
like what I saw though, especially what's coming up. But
Yeah, and so instantly we get Shinobu telling Araragi that she has something important that she wants to discuss with him. And this important thing is that Mr. Donut is having every donut on sale for only 100 yen each. And
but
to be
not
fair,
pies,
but not pie. That's
not
right.
pies.
Just donuts. And that's like, if you really think about it, that's a great deal. Especially in today's
Oh,
economy.
exactly, dude. I would probably live off those donuts for breakfast for like a month.
And he tells her, like, look, I'll get you these donuts. And she goes, no, you look. I don't want you to get them. I want to go with you.
But what
And so,
about the sunlight?
we'll get you a sun hat, baby. We'll make this all work out. And he's like, look, it'll be about a half hour. We'll do this. I'll let you know when we get there. All right. So that deal's been laid. Everything's Gucci there. And so we go kind of downstairs, and Tsukihi's in this pink kimono, looking real slut like. And she's pretty much just
Yeah,
disgusting about how the Fire Sisters are kind of splitting. And she kind of admits that she's too easily influenced by anything realistically. And the fact that obviously Cotton's got a really strong persona, and if Cotton would have went a different way, she probably would have went a different way too. And to be fair, I mean, she's probably not wrong. And so she kind of tells Aragi about if they do break up here after this discussion, whenever Cotton gets home, that they'll probably have a breakup party. And this breakup party is going to have a bunch of middle school girls, and Aragi's invited. And without any second hesitation, he agrees to it.
of course he does.
Yeah, right.
Of course he does.
Yeah, right. And then without any explanation, she just kind of like he just kind of like strips her after telling her to dress more ladylike. And like instantly he points out the fact that like these scars that she's had since like childhood have just instantly disappeared. Like scars
Yeah.
that doctors have told her that like won't go away for like her whole life. And then
Yeah,
like,
and it kind of does. It kind of does draw attention to her chest because I guess she had a scar in the middle of her chest, which I mean I never noticed because
well,
I
right,
don't think
she's
it's really
usually fully
pointed
dressed.
out in the rest of the series. She's usually a little more dressed than this, but it
Right.
kind of makes. I'm sure we're gonna get a who's to say here in a minute, but it kind of makes me wonder what sort. Like, was she sick a lot as a child? Did she have to have like a surgery that would leave a scar on her chest?
Oh well, who's to say?
You're to say.
But
You're to say. God damn it.
and after he like kind of like tells her about this and everything, like he just kind of like gropes her titty, just cause,
Yeah. And
just just cause,
and she even points it out, like, why'd you have to grab my titty?
just cause it was there.
Pretty
Uh,
much.
that's
That's our boy.
that's what he says. Yeah, he just kind of does it. And so after that scene, we get to the Mr. Donut. Our boy OG San Donut. Um, and we get there, and he initially is only gonna get Shinobu 3 donuts, but she's a good con artist, and convinces him to get 5 for her. They get a 10 piece. That's a whole fucking like $9. God damn, he gets 10
I
donuts for
mean,
like $9.
I fucking wish, bro. I bought a pizza yesterday and a can of fucking pineapple and a pack of ham. Don't ask because half of you are gonna hate me and half of you are gonna love me. Um, but
There's
fucking like $30, dude.
there's no vegans watching these videos.
No, I'm talking about the pineapple on pizza.
Oh, that is what it is.
I mean, you either love it or you hate it. There's no in
Exactly.
between.
But I bet that was like $15.
No, fucking for all that together at the Dollar General. I think I also got a Pepsi, and I
Oh,
might have got a thing of Velo. So that the Velo, like, no, I don't even think I got Velo that day. I think I already had some.
all he
No,
wanted was a
fucking
Pepsi.
30, and they gave it to me for like $30.
Those cunts.
Dude, it was at the fucking dollar store. Like, for fuck's sake, I go there because things are supposed to be cheaper, but like the pizza alone was almost fucking $5,
Oh yeah.
and fucking oh gosh, shit's getting gross, dude.
So to get $10 donuts for $9 was a steal, right?
What a
So
steal! You'd be paying fucking $35 for 4 donuts these days.
I tell you what, at the donut shop at the old Asia Mall, I can get a baker's dozen for about the same price. I'm gonna go there next week when I go visit. Yeah, but anyways, so we get to realizing that Yotsugi, obviously this is our girl after getting all her donuts, Shinobu, discussing the fact that Yotsugi is an apparition, and the fact that she's Yodoru's pretty much a familiar. Um, in Japanese terms, Shikigami.
Yes.
and we instantly, ironically, she's like pretty much like, look, I ain't your bitch. I ain't gonna tell you everything, but that guy probably will. Enter Kaiki again. Yeah, and he's there. He's there on minor business, and
Aren't you supposed to be out of the city by now? I'm here on business.
yeah. And so he kind of like, obviously, Araragi asks about the girls, and he's like, yeah, they're specialists. I'm the OGs, and or well, obviously, Yodoru is, and he even tells them that they specialize in immortal apparitions, and
Mhm.
obviously that gets Araragi's mind kind of bouncing, and
Are they
like
here for me? What could they be here for? Are they here for Shinobu? You know.
right. And ironically, I kind of failed to mention it, but like if they wanted him, they would have had him. Considering they called him Devil Boy at this point already, and Snail Girl for Hachikuji. So obviously, you can clearly see what they are.
And Hornet Sister,
Yeah, we don't care about the Hornet Sister.
because she really wasn't the Hornet Sister, but that she was called the Hornet Sister.
Right, you ain't
More
wrong.
like
You ain't
the
wrong.
Horny Sister. Ha!
Yeah, they're both fucking horny sisters, but yeah, definitely the horny sister. So we get back to Aragi's house. That's this whole conversation. Excuse me. Holy shit, this hand is freaking Coors Light's terrible.
Because it's fucking warm, bro.
It is.
You wouldn't be burping that much without the warmth.
And it's a year old.
Well, that's just the flavor. That's extra fermentation.
And
Probably got a 0.1 extra alcohol now.
This Coors Light's now a point. This is probably a 6%er now. So we get back to Aragi's house. Yodoru obviously admits that clearly she knows Oshino. She knows him.
Mm-hmm.
And within seconds, obviously with stupidity, Aragi kind of questions it, but like wonders why she's there. And come to find out, before he can really kind of find out, our girl uses her unlimited rule book, which is badass. May I mention?
I'm still confused on the unlimited rule book, but I'm sure it'll be explained further on.
It will later on in the series, once we get more action, but with Yotsuki. However, at this point, you don't get much. So, she uses it, destroys the whole front of the house. And may I mention, this whole time, Yotsugi is like ringing the bell, ringing the bell, ringing the bell, ringing the bell. And finally, Tsukihi's had enough. And she gets to the door, and she's attacked and like just knocked out, just instantly thrown to the ground.
Fucking blown in half, dude. Like,
yeah,
like
she blew the gate.
Whole upper body just torn off.
Yeah, like she blew the gate and like everything, and like went berserk. And so instantly, Aragi goes nuts like a rabid dog. And he kind of tries to do something, but before he can really even do that much, Yodoru's got him, on his knees like a bitch, standing on his back. And we come to find out that, quote unquote, Tsukihi is possessed by a monster bird. But we also know that, she was never his sister. She's actually,
which means she's fair game, Araragi.
Yeah, she was an apparition this whole time. And so Shinobu comes out and she threatens to suck off Yotsuki.
I'd like to see that.
And she tells everybody, like, look. You come after her, I'll suck her off, and I'll be powerful enough to take you on.
Suck everyone off. I'm gonna suck everyone. That's what vampires do. Definitely sucking everyone off.
Yeah, headstrong to suck you off. And so
headstrong, let me see that dog.
Yeah. And so she's like, obviously, not Yotsugi, but Yodoru. It's like, look, okay, I'll just pretend that I fell for your bluff, but we'll back off for the day. Make your peace with it. We'll figure this out tomorrow. Deuces.
Peace out, home slice.
Yeah. And so obviously they're out of there, right? And that's a thing.
And let's point out that the immortal monster bird is obviously a phoenix.
Right. And within that episode, I was gonna say instantly. What? Yeah, I was gonna say instantly. Shinobu pretty much explains how the phoenix is pretty much like the cuckoo bird,
The
How
cuckold bird.
yeah, the cuckold bird, not the cuckoo bird. Yeah, how how it pretty much waits for like a mother egg to disappear or a mother to disappear, a mother bird, and then puts their own egg in the batch with the other bird, so that obviously it'll raise that bird as its own and get rid of the original egg.
So let's also point out some fun facts. The cuckoo bird, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah,
is actually where we get the term cuckold from.
I believe it.
It's true. So the cuckold, you know what a cuckold is. I mean, some of you might
Yeah.
even be one.
Fucking A.
Hey, I'm not judging them if they want to watch their significant other get plowed. It's fine. I like to watch the roads get plowed every now and again.
Yeah, I think a cuckoo bird's
It's
they're
it's
from Australia, aren't they?
I'm not actually sure where they're from. I just know that that's where we get that term from. I can't remember where I learned that we get that term from. It might have even fucking just been another piece of media, but yeah, that's kind of always stuck with me, especially because we like to call people cucks.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, she also mentions that they're obviously harmless, but they're fake, obviously, and
Yeah,
immortal.
but like the sister doesn't even realize that she's what this is,
Yeah.
from what I'm to understand, because she is still raised by the Araragi family. So
Well,
she
yeah.
legitimately thinks that she's the sister. She doesn't understand,
Well,
that
right.
she's this immortal being.
That's the implication. Obviously that they don't know what they are. She's obviously still thinks that she's human. It's just to keep that lineage going, with the immortal phoenix. Um,
And that makes me kind of wonder, and I'm sure fucking maybe answers will happen, maybe answers won't, but like, at what point do they realize, and at what point do they move on to reproduce, and stuff like that? So like, would there just be like, a magic number for birthdays where this phoenix realizes like, hey, I'm not a human member of this family, but I'm the phoenix and I'm ready to go carry on my lineage and move on to the next family? Or is it something where the host body dies, or is it more of like an evolution thing where they gradually turn into the phoenix? It's an interesting concept because I've never in media seen a phoenix portrayed this way.
yeah. Oh yeah. I guess we'll have to find out eventually, won't we?
Well, I don't know. I don't. Or maybe you don't know. Maybe it's not covered yet.
Let's, I'll be honest with you. It's not covered yet. So
Oh, okay.
pretty much instantly after that, Aragi is standing outside, just clearly not knowing what the fuck to do. And Karen finally comes home, and she's like, "What the fuck happened?" And he's like, "Oh
Truck.
man, a dump truck just ran right into the fucking house, right?"
And she doesn't question it at all.
yeah,
There's no sign
yeah,
of a dump truck hitting the house. There's
yeah.
no dump truck.
Yeah, and he's just like, yeah, I've been watching Guard, and like, she's like, what about Suki? And he's like, she's just been unconscious, not knowing what the fuck's going on since. And he's like,
Now it's your turn to watch
yeah,
guard.
and she's just like, I die every
Okay.
day till I'm dead. Like, whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean, you know? And Miss
Oh my
Justice over
god.
here. Yeah, and so he goes back inside, and he wakes up Suki with a kiss. So now he's kissed both his sisters. He's the kiss sis expert, right?
Yeah.
And so ironically, it's her first kiss at that, right? And to make her somehow miraculously try to feel better, he says, I felt nothing when I kissed you. Like that's gonna make the situation any better. Um, and
Oh my god.
she obviously feels defiled because she has a boyfriend that she hasn't even kissed yet, and she's been trying to save herself for this boyfriend, and it's just a whole nightmare. And he's just fucking up relationships left and right because that's what he does. And so after that, he's pretty much mentally prepared to know that he's gonna fight, like he's gonna do this shit.
It's
And
going
so
down.
it's going down, and
I'm yelling timber.
you better run.
You
And
better dance.
yeah, sure. Either or, it don't matter to me. And so they're on their way there, and Shinobu's kind of like, talking about how she actually likes Tsukihi's name because, obviously it represents more the moon than anything, and she fucking hates the sun.
Yup.
And so,
I mean, what kind of vampire wouldn't? So
yeah, oh, right. And so, we get there, and before anything can happen, he lets her suck a little more extra blood than usual at the entrance of the cram school. And so we get there, and instantly they're talking shit, right?
And
and
I'd also like to point out a byproduct of her sucking a little bit more blood than usual is she enters what I would argue is probably my favorite form for Shinobu, and Heart Under Blade for that matter, which I think is supposed to be about like her 17-year-old form.
oh yeah, but I wasn't gonna mention it till later. But that's fine. So
I ruined everything. I'm sorry, guys.
is so like they get there, and like they're instantly like going like, okay, so we're gonna do this fucking fight, and she's clearly sitting in Oshino's tree. You don't sit in Oshino Meme's tree.
That's
Okay,
his tree. That's his territory. He's marked it.
he might have left, but it's still his fucking territory.
Like,
and
fuck off, girl.
And so they give the option of doing the Yodoru's like, let's do apparition versus apparition and humans versus human. And Yotsugi is like, yeah, I'll fight this grandma bitch. Because like Shinobu is like trying to tell her like, yeah, I can beat the shit out of you. I got experience over 500 years, and just a whole shit show going on. And we also come to find out, I know this probably didn't surprise you. I know I didn't surprise me when I first found it out, really. But Oshino, Kaiki, and Yodoru were all schoolmates in the occult club.
It
And
wasn't really a surprise moment, I'll say, but I did kind of audibly go, "Oh, that makes sense."
yeah, and I mean, it's described later, but I'll even just talk about it now. How, pretty much Oshino is the middleman, Kaiki's the lower half, and then, Yodoru is the superior being with that whole thing. And so, um, we also find out that Kaiki sold the information about his sister to her.
Fucking slime ball, dude. I hate that guy. I hate
Yeah,
him.
Kaiki's a guy.
A guy that I hate.
And so, like, instantly to start this fight, she slams her heel right into his fucking face. And,
Oh,
like,
fucking brutally.
dude, brutally. And she is just head smashing the living shit out of him. Like, legitimately, like, fucking his eyeballs are popping out. And then, like, she throws him, right? Like, through up into the tree. And, like, she's playing with his heart, like, inside of his intestines, or inside of his chest, I guess. And then
Yeah.
crushes it while schooling him on how it'll affect everyone, and then stomps him through the fucking floor to check. Oh, well, I'll go back a tiny second. Well, pretty much schooling him on how if Suki, if she lives, how it'll affect obviously his parents, and his sister and everybody knowing that she's not quote unquote his real sister, um, but defending the fact that he'll die on this hill, to defend the fact that she might not quote unquote be his real sister, but he loves and will die for her. Um,
Yeah, and I feel like this is kind of also a callback to earlier in the series where he's talking to Hachikuji, kind of trying to come to grips with how to approach being essentially a partial vampire around his family, and if they will accept him or if it'll cause them more trouble.
right, right, and yeah, pretty much coming to the fact that no matter what, he's loved her and she's gonna be his family no matter what. And
What a
well, they
good guy. He loves his sisters.
yeah, he sure does, doesn't he? And so she literally like stomps him through the fucking floor to check on the fight with Shinobu. And obviously Shinobu's won. She's
Freaking
got
all fucking tied up and
yeah,
shit.
yeah, she's got Yotsugi tied up on the wall, and like she's like, I was preparing to do my final move, and we've got the perfect back shot of Shinobu and her pink sweater with that cute donut on there and that skirt. That was the nice. She looks absolutely fucking adorable. And
Yeah, again, it's my fucking favorite form of her so far, and it was my favorite form even in the Kizu movies.
yeah, it's a great look, especially the donut and the pink sweatshirt. It reminds me of
Oh yeah.
the Team Four Star with Vegeta and his pink button up. But obviously she's like, "Yo, Shinobu, should we fight now?" Because obviously Aragi's done and my girl's done, and she's like, "Nah, nah, dude, Aragi ain't even done yet." And like, pretty much like he's like, not gonna give up, even though his eyeballs are popped out, his chest is ripped open, and like, he's not in a
And
good
it's
state.
it's a gruesome visual too. They like really put detail into him being messed up.
Oh yeah, yeah, and he's like, I'll lie because they're family, and like desire, with it lies in human nature, and humans are ruled by these desires, which is a Chinese proverb from Shenzi. Totally butchered that because I don't know Chinese very well, but pretty much, yeah, pretty much the fact that pretty much humans are shit, and people that try to do good are more douchebaggy than people that do shit, essentially. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that.
yeah, and then
And
like,
aren't there two proverbs in this fucking situation? Because doesn't she come back with one that she prefers,
well, that's
philosophy wise?
that's the one that she told him,
But then,
but he
so
comes,
there's a back and forth too, because then he comes back with a different proverb that's like the exact opposite.
yeah, yep, yep, yeah, because like all three of them had different scales of morals, essentially, and I can't remember if it was Aragi. I think it was Aragi that said this one. You can shoot a bird, but not while nesting. They
I think
leave.
so.
Yeah, and that was the one that he kind of said. And essentially, they end it with you know, um, just pretty much her leaving, giving up on the fact that the fact that he put this much effort into it, and just the fact that he would fight this hard for somebody. Um, I guess trying to think of the way to word this right, but more or less the fact that he's fighting for something that they think is just this immoral thing, but clearly he has a way to deal with it, she just kind of lost interest in the matter of him actually putting an effort into it, not making it
Yeah.
something that clearly is evil when he wants to put that much effort into it. And she even like admits to herself that she's kind of like acting like Oshino would, and she hates that fucking fact. And she like ends the situation with the fact that she goes like, "Well, I guess I'll say something that Oshino never would say. Goodbye."
Yep.
And like she's not wrong because obviously Oshino didn't. He said goodbye, but he didn't say goodbye. You
And he
know,
did it in his own way, but
right? He's not good at that shit. And like so,
but
obviously,
traumatized our boy nonetheless. You'll never
right,
leave me, Hachifuji.
right. And like so, like after that, uh, he tells his sisters, like, or I guess mostly Suki, after this whole situation that once it's all said and done, they're in their bedroom, and he's like, "Look, after this summer, maybe I'll introduce you to my girlfriend." And like, clearly, she didn't even know he had a girlfriend, and
Like,
it's
whoa, you've been groping us and kissing us and brushing our teeth with a girlfriend?
yeah, right. And like, he's like, "Yeah, I'll let you meet her if you don't mention any of that shit." And, like, and as it's August now, he's been dating her since like April. So he's been with this girl for like almost 4 months now, and he's just mentioning this shit. And like that's for the most part the conclusive ending to this arc. His sister lived. Both of his sisters had their own situations. The Fire Sisters are pretty much no more, but Aragi got closer to his sisters than he probably ever should have. But
Yeah.
but he did, and
Why go down the street when you can go down the hallway?
that's right. And then like to top it all, he he grew as a person on top of it and built a smaller bond with Shinobu. So all in all, everything worked out in the end of Nisei, and it's a great arc. It's definitely not the strongest arc of the series. Obviously, we're only about out of the whole series. We've got Bake, Kizu, and then this one. And obviously, after this, we have Neko, and so we're about I'd say almost a quarter of the way through. And
And
out of
oh
the
boy, am I excited for Neko. Like, I want to know what happens further with Hanakawa. Like, because we only
yeah,
get like that brief touch in Bake.
yeah.
Fucking Metal Cat, Hanakawa Black, fucking whatever you fucking call her and shit. But we only get that brief little bit with her, and I want fucking conclusive answers to what the fuck is going on.
But lucky for you, we're gonna get there here next week.
Yeah, boy, it'll be a fucking good time, and it's only fucking 4 episodes. I don't have to memorize that much.
Small brain, don't give a fuck.
And
So
ADHD brain, okay?
I get it. Trust me. So long story short, overall, how would you rate Nisei?
So Nisei, I'd give it like a solid 9, like I did Bake.
Mm-hmm.
Again, visually a 10 because I love what they do with the visuals.
Yep.
We touched on that already, though.
Yep.
Story wise, though, like I liked the character development. I
Yep.
do like how we physically see characters changing. Like, I don't think we touched on it, but Hanakawa's got shorter hair in this series, in this part of the series. I think we even see Senjo Gahara briefly, and I think it looked like she cut her hair too. I'm not sure on that though, but I thought I saw a glimpse of Senjo Gahara with shorter hair for like a brief second.
I was gonna say you do for 1 second at the end when he references it to his sister.
Yeah, so we see, of course, Conbrew with the grown out hair. We get to see literally the change in the sisters. And the sisters are obviously different looking from what we saw in Bake also, which is something I'll point out too. Because I think, if I remember correctly, in Bake they both had longer hair.
Yep.
Yeah, so I do like the character development. I don't think that it was quite as strong as in Bake though. Like
Right.
we do get to see our boy develop, but we also get to see him develop into a syscon. But it's, yeah.
Okay.
Um, what?
That's fair. That's fair.
um, the overall theme was kind of consistent, and I think the overall theme for this one was just like, how do you deal with having this secret and having to keep it from people, and to what lengths are you willing to go to keep this secret, and will this secret harm people around you? So at least that's what I got from listening and watching this whole series, because we got Karen keeping secrets about, dealing with Kaiki and how that affected her. We have Aragi trying to figure out what to do about his secret, and younger sister that I'm not even going to try to remember the name of, because I've only said it like twice. So insert the name here.
Suki.
Tsukihi. We have terms with the fact that now Aragi knows her secret,
Yep.
and does he? I'm
But
assuming it'll come up later, but does
I
he
mean,
tell her? Does he keep it from her and just treat her as she's always been? What's the implications behind all of that? So I think a lot of it's dealing with those secrets, confronting the past, and Senjo Gahara's case, whether vengeance is the right road to go down.
right.
So I think there were a lot of deep themes and throughout this whole series, and fucking straight best yet for fucking half naked girls.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough.
And
Fair enough.
but yeah, solid 9 story wise, 10 animation style.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of these are gonna end up being a 9.
Fair enough. Fair enough. For me, Nise is a 8. Through my watch throughs out of this whole series, it is a solid 8, which is still obviously a very solid rating. Um, but compared to some of the future installments, it doesn't compare. However, I'm still basing them off my original ratings of my first time watching these series on my Mal, because for the most part, they haven't changed. Obviously, every time I watch it, I pick something up more. However, with a series I've watched, this many times, if I was gonna change my opinion on it, it would have been either the second or third time. So I stick with an 8. It has still a solid story, great animation, but it gets better. And not to take anything away from it, because, like I said, as a complete series, and obviously with the future one coming out fall this year, hasn't been confirmed fall, but it ain't gonna be summer, and there's only one other season left after that. So I think that for what we have now, it as a complete series, it's still one of my favorite series of all time. But yeah, this is an 8, and I love it, but it gets better. So I'm excited to keep going on it with you, and yeah, so
I'm
that's a
excited too, and I feel like as we wrap up watching what's out now before we start on the new content when that comes out,
yeah.
I feel like we're gonna have to go back, and I'm gonna have to list my ratings again through, because all of these are subject to change when there are more things to compare it to.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you want to do it when we get to the end of the series we have now and rank them, absolutely. Or if you want
So
to
the
wait until the new one comes out this fall, I mean, either or. I mean, we could do it whenever you want.
Yeah, I feel like they will be subject to change because this is my baseline is what, not even a third of the series so far.
Yeah, almost a quarter. After Neko, it'll be a quarter. Yeah, which I mean,
Yeah, so
technically not like episode count wise per se, but just because I mean, after this, I mean, it like I said, after Neko, it's Monogatari. The second season's technically the longest one with 26 episodes. Then you got Hana in the middle, and then after that, it's another 40 episodes. So I mean, we're at this point about at the quarter mark almost. So I mean, take it as you will.
I've got a small percentage. We're not even halfway there. My baseline is technically only 3 parts of this multifaceted, multi-part series that keeps jumping around.
Yep. Yep, we went from the main point to right before Golden Week to right after Bake, and then we're gonna go right to Golden Week now, with Neko. So yeah, with that much pretty much being said, I guess that's about all we got for this video. And if you enjoyed this video and you made it this far, please leave a like. It means a lot. And if you're feeling real generous, hit that fucking subscribe button. We're gonna keep uploading content as usual, and eventually here we're gonna have some extra content because I plan on having Mr. Itchy Etchy Man uploading videos himself on the side of things that I wouldn't even delve into. So look forward to
Yeah.
that. And with that being said, I guess we'll see you and Neko.
Yep. See you guys next week. And remember, if you're at the convenience store, buy a can of Rippets and then tell them you heard it from us.
That's fucking right. Fuck.
Bye now.
Bye.